Hey guys, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be all about Team Liquid's approach to contesting banana control on the terrorist side of Inferno and how this changed throughout the year of 2018. So first up, we're going to go for a game that was played back in the June of 2018. This was played at the ECS Season 5 finals during the group stages, and as you can see, it was against Astralis. So the first thing we're going to do is go for a couple of terrace rounds, and we're mainly going to look at how they approach banana early on. And this is because how you approach banana early on normally dictates how it's going to play at least into the mid round or perhaps even the late round, depending on the utility. At the end of this first demo, we'll summarize the rounds that we've seen, and I'll expand on the positives and negatives of their approach to contesting banana control. So before we get into this, I'm just going to point out this is a great game to see Device playing without a care in the world. During this game, he plays so loose, he repicks so many angles, and he destroys Team Liquid. And I can assure you that that Device would not have played like this had it not been a group stage game. So during this one, I'm going to use plenty of terms like deep molly, close molly, deep banana molly, deep mid molly, all these sort of things. So perhaps with the wonders of video editing, I'll have a nice graphic on your screen at the moment to explain what they mean for those out of the know. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first round we're going to watch here is the first gun round of this game, and as you can see, Team Liquid are 0-2 down. So quickly looking at the utility on the Liquid side, it's fairly good, but the thing to note here is that they're low on flashes, which can be very important for contesting banana control. But in this round, it's not actually going to matter because of a mistake early on. So the player we're going to be on board with here, and for most of this first demo we're going to go through, will be Twist. And this is because, at least for the first 2/3, 3/4 of the year, Twist defaulted as the first in on banana on Inferno. And it's what he does that dictates the pace of how they're going to contest banana control. So anyway, let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to see Twist do here is throw a molly onto car on banana. Now I'm probably not going to comment on this again in this video because it happens literally every round at the top level, but just to quickly talk about the importance of throwing this. The reason it's very good for the T's to be throwing this is because it makes it harder for the CTs to take banana control. If you don't throw the molly, there's so many options for them to just peek on a flash, have an AWP dry peeking it even. All of these sorts of things that use very little utilities, but just by throwing this, you make the CT's life much harder, had to expend more utility, more people to get banana control, which is obviously a desirable thing from the T's perspective. So, as you can see now on your screens, this is what Twist and Nitro and Team Liquid do all the time during this period of time. They'll throw the molly onto car, and the pair of them, Twist and Nitro, will stand behind where the deep smoke lands. Now, later on in the video, we'll see and we'll talk about why this isn't preferable and why, and you'll see in the second video, why they moved away from doing this to playing more aggressively and more aggressively contesting the banana control. But anyway, let's see what happens in this round. We'll see that Twist actually, for some reason, starts jiggling top mid and will get picked by Device, who's AWPing from the standard spot on the left side of mid, at least from the left side of the CT's perspective. Now in this round, Astralis could have taken banana control, but as soon as they got the man advantage, they decided, let's fall back, let's not play advanced positions. We've got the man advantage, let's just play this one out and close out the round. So let's move on to the following round, and this round we're actually going to be on board with Nitro. Now, if there ever was a feels bad man moment in Counter-Strike, this is definitely one that's in contention. So what you're going to be seeing here is that Nitro has had enough of giving banana control. He's going to contest it this round. He's going to do it in a manner that's very common, certainly across top teams now, but even back when this game was played, it was still fairly common across top teams to contest banana control like this, and you'll see this definitely a lot more in the next part of this video. So as you can see, Nitro throws his standard car molly and he gets himself into this right corner, and what he wants to do now is when Astralis go for banana control, he wants to smoke on the deep molly and give them a very hard time to actually take the control. So as you can see, the deep close molly comes in, and the deep molly is actually delayed. I'm not totally sure if it was intentional, but the deep molly now comes in from Glaive, and as you can see, it's landed behind Nitro's smoke. His smoke that was meant to put out this molly actually missed, and he's going to die because of it. Now, this molly from Glaive does seem a little bit deeper than normal. I'm not totally sure if Nitro's smoke would put out a normal deep molly, but at least in my eyes, this does still indicate that Team Liquid during this period were not comfortable with contesting banana control. I think most players in this situation would actually sit on their molly and sit on their smoke until the deep molly comes out, then smoke on it, because in the time it takes you to take even a couple ticks of damage, you're going to be able to get that smoke down, you're going to drop it straight onto it and put it out, and guarantee you're going to actually put the molly out. So now in the 14th round, we're going to see a potential reason why the way that Twist and Nitro are playing here by standing behind the deep smoke and then making a decision isn't such a brilliant idea. So now watching on board with Twist, we'll see that he throws standard flashes. That would actually be Nitro in this round that throws the car molly. But as you can see, Astralis here, they've thrown a deep mid molly, and this, because they're standing behind where the deep smoke would have been, this forces Twist and Nitro all the way back into T stairs. Now later on, I'll talk a little bit about a banana take that utilizes this deep mid molly and why it would be so effective against the way Team Liquid are playing at this moment in time. So anyway, let's summarize how Liquid were approaching contesting banana control in this game, and how generally during this period of time I think they were approaching contesting banana control. So as you see during that game, Twist or Nitro will normally throw a car molly, and then the pair of them will stand behind the deep smoke, and they'll do this unless they want to go fast brackets or fast apps drop. We didn't actually see in this game, they didn't actually commit to doing so. So why is this not a good idea? Why is it not a brilliant idea to stand behind the deep smoke? And we kind of saw an example in here, but there are takes of banana that utilize different utility than the standard take that Astralis were using for most of this game that can punish this style of play much more than they actually got punished in this game. The way of taking banana that in my eyes best punishes this sort of play is when you have a player with a good B spawn. What you can do is you can forget about throwing the close molly. You can only throw the deep molly and the back smoke and the deep smoke, and the player can be flashed and go in front of the terrorist car molly. If you have a good spawn, you're very likely to only take a couple ticks of damage, and that's quite insignificant in this situation. The other thing you could also add in this scenario is a deep mid molly, and we saw that there earlier in this video where Astralis threw a deep mid molly and it forced Team Liquid to move all the way back to T stairs. They had to give up so much map control, and this is a really big reason why I think that what we see in the second video where Team Liquid started playing in front of that back smoke is more preferable. So during this period of time, I think Liquid tended to play more passively. They like to give banana, like to not go for fast brackets control because they wanted to play safe. They didn't want to give up cheap injuries. They didn't want to take the risk. And I know we didn't watch through many late round scenarios in this game, but what Liquid would love to do is they'd give banana, they'd give brackets, and then mid round they'd go and take brackets, they go and retake banana, but they fell into a very, very predictable play style. They would do this so many rounds. I particularly remember there was an example. It was E-League Premier's final, 2018 E-League Premier final between Astralis and Team Liquid, and in this game Astralis started on CT side and they out-rotated Liquid in so many rounds because Liquid became way too predictable. I remember an actual particular round during this game where Astralis went down 4 versus 5 early, and Glaive said at some point in this round they're going to go for brackets control, so let's risk at least during some point in this round we're going to play 4A and take the risk. And in this round, you know what happened, or you can guess what's going to happen. Team Liquid goes for brackets control, but then they go straight into a short execute or something like this, and they go into 4 players, and Astralis win the round off this great rotational call. So anyway, I think that will wrap up everything for this first demo we're going to be going through, and we'll go through the second one in a moment and talk about how they changed over time and why I think the style that they're using, at least now or towards the last stages of the year, is more preferable and is the way most top teams should be playing. Moving on then, let's get into the second game we're going to be going through. So this game was played between Liquid and Na'Vi. This was played at the Pro League finals in Odense, and this was played during the semi-finals of the tournament. So during this round, and for most of the rounds we're going to be going through of this game, we're going to be watching Elige, because by this point it's now Elige the default to banana, and depending on spawn, it alternates between him and Nitro who is the first man in there who's leading contesting banana control. So in this round, as you can see, they are on pistols. They have a bit of utility, and you'll see later on why it's very specifically chosen what utility they've bought here. So this is a round that I've seen them running pretty much, I think it was since the major in London. I've seen them running it for 2 to 3 months. On this round, they're going to fast contest banana control. I've seen them run it on rifles. It runs basically exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter that we're watching them run it on a force round. So anyway, let's get into it. A thing to note there is that Elige and Nitro have very good spawns, and this is quite important when running this sort of round because it means they can get out in front of where the deep molly lands. What you just saw there is that Elige has thrown smoke that bounces off the half wall and lands where the close molly would have landed. So what he's doing is pre-smoking the close molly, and they're going to go through it. The first thing they do here is they nade stack behind the half wall to try and catch some players from an open position. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be flashed through that smoke, and they're going to take some fights with the CTs who might be disorientated. They might have been given it, but what they want to do is get the control fast and try and force fights, especially as they're on this force round. They want to force the fights, get some picks early, and crack open a bomb site. And as we'll see, watching through this round, as they get flashed through the smoke, and Elige will find the entry kill. And this round was actually pivotal in the match. It really turned the swing, this force win, and went a long way towards Liquid winning this game. So anyway, let's get into the next round, and this is the next round in the match. So in this round, we're going to see the main point of this video, and this is what I think should be the go-to play for every single team on T side of Inferno, and I think it is the best way to approach contesting banana control. So let's watch this one play out and see what Elige does. So as you can see, standard molly, and he's going to jump into this right corner. So we saw this during the first game. Nitro gave it a go. It didn't go so well for him as his smoke missed the molly. But here, as you can see, Elige waits for the molly to come in and then smokes on it. So actually in this round, he's going to aggress a bit behind it and try and find some picks, but the close molly is going to come out and stop him from aggressing anymore. But look at the CT's utility here. They have burnt so much utility to try and get banana control. Well, he's trying to slow down the T's on banana, and they've got nothing because of it. So in this round, Liquid thinks we've seen so much utility coming out of the CTs. We know they've used both their mollies on the B site. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into a B execute with smokes, with the mollies, the whole lot, because they're not going to have the counter nades. So actually in this round, Zeus does get off the counter smoke, but it's quite a bad smoke, and it doesn't slow the T's down very much, especially considering their molly onto oranges fought Edward here. What we can see on this round is that when you contest banana control, when you catch them with low nades, with blowing all their nades, you have more options on the T side. They opened up the opportunity here to execute into B because they didn't have to expend their nades clearing banana control, because they only had to use a couple of nades, get so many out of the CTs. And this is why contesting banana control can be a great thing to do if the CTs overreact with utility themselves and don't get any control because of it. Moving on then, let's get into the last round we're going to be going through in this video, and this is the last round of the half. So, watching on, we can see that because Nitro has the best spawn here, it's going to be Nitro into banana first. He's going to throw the car molly, and he's going to get himself into the right corner. So on this round, you'll know that Elige throws a nice nade behind where the molly lands, and the idea behind throwing this sort of nade is that some AWPers, simple might come to mind, might have the audacity to swing into the molly, take a bit of damage for the opportunity to try and get a pick. So that's the idea of throwing the nade. Remember, Astralis used to actually do it. I think it was either earlier in the year or the year before. They used to do it all the time during their T side on banana. So on this round, because Nitro got in first, it's going to be Nitro that smokes onto the deep molly. And looking at the mini-map here, you can see that Na'Vi have committed 3 players over to try and force out banana control. They're down in this game, and they feel like they need banana control to play out a round that is advantageous from their perspective. So, watching on here, we can see that Nitro is going to smoke on the deep molly. What Elige is going to do now is he's going to re-molly car. And this is kind of for the same reason that you throw the initial molly, means the CTs can't round the corner, which is really what they want to be doing here. They want to try and force out banana control with 3 players. They want to go anyway, even if they've heard nitrous smoking on the molly, they want to get round the corner and try and kill that player. But what Liege does is throw this molly. They can't get around the corner, and what he's going to do here is push into playing tree, which is a very powerful spot, especially when you've already burnt all the nades. You can't use nades to get rid of this position anymore because you've blown them all trying to get banana control already. And as we'll see on this round, Zeus tries to force it out. He remollies, and then he's going to start swinging behind the car here, and the Liege is going to pick him off. And that's essentially going to be round over for Na'Vi. So, anyway, let's summarize what we've been watching here. So, as you can see, instead of throwing the car molly, then playing behind where the deep smoke lands, in this game they're getting more aggressive. They're throwing the car molly and they're getting in front of the smoke and playing in that right corner most of the time. And then if the deep molly comes in, they're going to smoke on it and they're going to hard contest the banana control for the CTs coming in trying to take it. So it's my philosophy on the game, my thoughts towards the game, that pretty much every top team should be doing this a lot during the game. They should be getting themselves in this corner and smoking the molly if it comes in, because it makes it much harder for the CTs to commit to a banana take. There are some teams, certainly loads of scenarios where as soon as teams hear the smoke going down on that molly, they're too scared to commit to banana control and they've just wasted their utility. And of course, if you're getting the utility out of the CTs, it forces down their nades, gives you more options. So as the bigger picture, why can denying banana control be important aside from just forcing down nades? Now, if they don't have banana control, it basically forces them into, on some area on the map, they're going to have to play either a retake setup, they're going to give that area on the map. So these places, they're going to have to play retake B, only 2 on the A site late, or they're going to have to give the arch area, which allows a wrap onto B to be very, very powerful. So in each of these cases, they're not desirable setups. There's always a hole that can be exploited in all of these setups, and it's on the T's to try and suss out what these holes are. So in recent months, you might have noticed that Inferno has actually become T-sided. I think it's leaning towards, it's about an 8-7, 9-6 sort of, in terms of the stats, sort of T-sided at the moment. And this is because I believe that the T is getting much better at contesting and then taking banana control, which forces the CTs to play undesirable setups or at least take risks, which if you even it out over so many rounds, they're going to get less CT rounds because they're taking these risks. They're playing without information, all these sorts of things. So anyway, I think that's everything for this video on Liquid's change in philosophy, at least towards banana control, getting more aggressive, all of these sorts of things. Thanks to everyone for watching, and why don't you, while you're here, like the video, sub to my channel and follow me on Twitter. Again, thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.